mental toll of catering to fans. At the heart of Caitlin Clark's on-court slump, per national analyst Caitlin Clark starts her mornings just like many of us, between 6 and 7 a.m. But while most of us are still stretching off to sleep or waiting for our coffees to kick in, she's already training. She once told Women's Health, "The number one thing I knew I needed to improve is just how strong I was." Is it because of all that physical play she receives? Maybe yes. After all, since she was 22, she has had to quickly learn how to avoid getting seriously injured on the floor. "I'm only 22 years old. I feel younger than that at times. I'm trying to navigate moving to a new city by myself. I'm trying to navigate playing in a new league on top of everything else that's come with it," Clark said last year. And nobody understands that feeling better than a fellow one draft pick, Paige Buchers. I would just say Clark handles it with grace. And the pressure that she's put on every single night to perform at the level that she does, it's inhumane, really, Booker said. Because in a league like this, the real challenge isn't just physical fatigue. That's something athletes train for all their lives. It's the mental toll that wears players down. The NBA follows a similar pattern, and Clark's longtime friend Tyrese Halliburton is in the same boat. They're both learning how to carry expectations while still figuring life out. He told The Athletic, "I was really trying to run away from what was going on, and I think that point was for me to be like, yo, I don't feel like myself. I don't feel all right," he said. It's bad. Now, both have had to deal with being pushed around on the court by rivals, but when it comes to Caitlin Clark, things always go a level up. Recently, she was poked in the eye by the Connecticut Sun guard J.C. Sheldon. Then moments later, Sheldon's teammate Marina Mabry rammed her into the floor. Now, you'd be mistaken to think incidents like these don't take a toll. She's frequently shoved, grabbed, and knocked off balance throughout games, and the officiating rarely provides the relief many expect. Calls often go unanswered, adding frustration to the physical toll. Add to that being always surrounded by cameras and fans. With thousands of eyes watching her every move, she has to make a 3.0 even when her body hurts. Before the game against the Storm, she was signing autographs till 3 minutes before the tip-off. Like that, where's the time to prepare mentally for failures? But before that game, she let her guard down just enough to reveal some frustration. Obviously, she said, "I'm an athlete competing at the highest level. I'm a perfectionist. And you want to be good every single night. And when you're not, that can frustrate you." Then came the familiar smile, the kind that usually resets the mood. That brief moment was enough, though, for many to understand what Clark deals with behind the cameras, and how, when she has her bad days, like everyone on this planet, we all are so quick to offer words like, "Indiana Fever needs to fix this Caitlin Clark problem." Recently, the Ringer analyst Sierrat Sohi highlighted the same, saying last season Clark was at her most accurate beyond the arc with 3 or more days of rest. She shot 41.9% from 3 when she was fresh, but that dropped to 29% on 2 or less days of rest. It's a fact that a high-intensity sport requires rest, which Caitlin Clark hasn't been receiving. And the fact that this season is even longer than before does not help, which is why this season the trend has continued. In the 4 games this season, Clark has played after 1 day of rest. She has shot 2 for 29 from beyond the arc. All 3 of her 0-footers fall into this category. In all other games, she's shooting over 40% from 3. Thankfully, Cece never fails to remind herself of the actual point of playing each time. After that moment of admission, she then tried to talk herself back to the center, but I think it's just reminding yourself of why you play this game and how much fun we've had doing it since you were a little kid. I don't think that's changed at all. That's the reason I still play. For me, it's just fun. It's just a game at the end of the day. But whether she fully believed that or was trying to convince herself, we're not so sure. That game against the Storm was a heavy one. It came in right after Dwana Bonner's departure news, but with Aliyah Boston alongside her, Caitlin Clark and the Fever managed to succeed. However, instead of walking back to the locker room with her head held high, Clark limped off the hardwood with a groin injury. Now, more than wins and losses, Indiana's season has been about, how does Clark look? Is she healthy? Worn down? Is the spark still there? Every game feels less like a box score check and more like a check on Caitlin Clark, both mental and physical. The WNBA's expanded 44-game schedule, 34 games 5 years ago, has emerged as a major factor in the league's growing fatigue and injury crisis. It has been affecting both rookies and veterans. Data analyst Lucas Seehafer's tracking shows that the injury rates have risen steadily over the past 3 seasons. It is a really concerning pattern, which is made worse by the compressed calendar. Already this season, stars including Caitlin Clark, Matisse Collier, Aja Wilson, and Paige Beckers have missed games due to various physical issues. Now reigning Finals MVP Jonquel Jones is facing at least a month out with a re-sprained ankle. This comes in a league where most players already compete overseas or in domestic leagues like Athletes Unlimited and Unrivaled. During the offseason, the situation leaves little to no time for recovery. The consequences are becoming even more apparent every week. Satu Sabali, now thriving with Phoenix after an injury-plagued 2024, didn't mince words. I think this is a conversation that could also be important for the next CBA. Kathy added a lot of games, and for us as players, recovery is so important. We put our bodies on the line every single time. We had 9 games in 18 days. That's not really responsible for a commissioner. Stretching the season could help, but it will create logistical hurdles like overlapping with the NBA schedule or shrinking the already brief window between college seasons and the WNBA draft. For now, the league is operating at maximum intensity and players' health is paying the price. And guess who's going to pay for it? She went on, she said this, "We take our time opening the season. The exhaustion shows not just in Clark's shooting percentages or Jones' ankle, but across the entire WNBA landscape. Under the glaring lights of packed arenas and the ever-watchful gaze of millions, Caitlin Clark has become more than a rookie. She's become a symbol, a movement, a $1 million smile paired with long-range bombs. She's a savior to some, a controversy to others, and undeniably the face of a rapidly evolving WNBA. But lately, something's changed. The numbers have dipped. The shots haven't fallen as often. Her signature confidence looks a touch subdued. The fire is still there, but flickering behind her eyes is something heavier, something human. And according to one national analyst, the answer isn't in the box score. It's not her form. It's not fatigue. It's not even the defenders," said Rachel Vance, a longtime WNBA analyst and former sports psychologist. It's the mental toll of constantly performing for the crowd, of living inside a fishbowl where every move is either worshipped or weaponized. Clark's rookie season has been unlike any in recent history, not just in the WNBA, but across sports. From the day she declared for the draft, her life became a whirlwind of flashbulbs, fanfare, and expectations. The record-setting NIL deals, the televised draft, the full arenas, many of them sold out for the first time in franchise histories. For the Indiana Fever, Clark wasn't just a player. She was a business model, a media magnet, a brand in motion. And for every cheer, there's been scrutiny. For every applause, a wave of hot takes. She has to play basketball, Vance explained, but she also has to be perfect, funny in interviews, humble in wins, poised in losses. She's expected to sign every autograph, smile for every selfie, absorb every foul without flinching, and never, ever break. But inside, the cracks were forming. Several games into the season, reporters began noticing it. The missed open looks, the uncharacteristic turnovers, the rare moments of visible frustration. One night, after a tough loss, Clark skipped her usual post-game Instagram update and left the arena quietly. No witty captions, no curated highlights, just silence. She's emotionally drained, Vance said. People forget, she's 22. She went from college student to national figure overnight. And now, every game is a referendum on her worth. According to team sources, Clark hasn't lost her passion, but the sheer demand of constantly giving herself to others is wearing thin. When she's not practicing or playing, she's being pulled in every direction. Community events, sponsor obligations, media appearances. Even her personal downtime is never truly private. Her name trends whether she wins or loses. And the court, once her sanctuary, is now the center of the storm. "She's not playing with joy," one Fever teammate whispered anonymously. "Oh, she's playing for everyone else." And that's the heart of it. Caitlin Clark, for all her swagger and skill, is still someone navigating the unrelenting weight of being everything to everyone. The shooter, the savior, the spotlight. It's a dangerous dynamic. Vance warned. Because when you feel like you exist only to please fans, you lose the part of yourself that fell in love with the game in the first place. The result? A slump not of skill, but of soul.